Hello and welcome to On the Clock, presented by WorkStream. If you care about hiring, managing, and paying hourly workers, this is the podcast for you. Today we're sharing a fireside chat with Bojangles franchisee Rajiv Dinakaran and WorkStream's head of marketing, Amy Palmer. Rajiv has made culture a huge priority, even as he's expanded to 41 Bojangles locations in and around Atlanta, Georgia. Enjoy!
So we're here with Rajiv Dinakaran. Can you tell me a little bit about your background and how that led to becoming a Bojangles owner?
Yeah, of course. I've been in the restaurant business my whole life. I started working for my dad, who's also a Bojangles franchisee, when I was in high school. Summer times and, weekends, I would just go as a regular crew member, team member, go make biscuits. I started out in the kitchen, biscuits, dishes, kind of some of the back of the house, dirty chores. And I worked my way up and slowly, each year as I progressed, I kind of moved up the ranks and slowly got to point. I was running shifts. And after college, I started working with him full time. And I was an assistant manager for a while, and then I became a store manager for him. And then eventually I was a district manager for him for a couple of years. And then after 2018, I bought my first location in Milledgeville, Georgia. It was a struggling location. It was on the verge of shutting down. Had actually 7 employees. One of them being the owner who left, obviously.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. And typically you need about 30 people to run one. And it takes about 6-7 people a shift. And so was able to come in, turn around within 30 to 60 days. I was profitable, fully staffed. Opened my second location, exact same thing. Hit a home run with it, was doing well. And then just slowly, kind of snowballed from there. And then one more store came up for sale, took advantage of it. 2 more and 3 more, and just kind of rolled from there. And then slowly from 1 to 41, here we are.
Amazing. Yeah. What a journey.
It's been so amazing. Yeah.
I love that you did the whole back of house to front of house. Did you have a favorite back of house position?
Biscuits. I love making biscuits. And this is a hot take, but I'm the best biscuit maker in our company.
I believe it.
Yeah. So people sleep on me and they think that, just because I'm the owner now, I don't get back there, but I can go back there and I can do it blindfolded, and I'll take anyone on in this company. If any of the corporate leadership is watching this is an official challenge.
Oh my gosh,
I will outroll anyone.
That's fantastic. So obviously there's a lot of hourly workers to manage, and you have a lot of experience there. Tell me something about managing hourly workers that maybe other people don't know.
I think you got to realize they're people too. And I think in this industry, people treat them so poorly and they have no future. And I think it's perceived as this sleazy kind of, dead end job that's pays minimum wage, that you've got nowhere to go. And really, I'm on a mission to change that. So many people in our executive leadership team were people who were crew members that kind of grew up in the ranks just like us. Jeremy Collins, our VP of Ops, when I started working with my dad, he was a store manager. And prior to that, for my dad, he was a high school kid. And so he's grown up, and now he's kind of our number 2 in command in the operation. He manages our whole operation teams. And so, things like that, I think people want to see, and they want to know that this is more than just a paycheck. It's a family, it's an environment, and it's a potential career.
Yeah, true career growth. Yeah, you've exemplified that. That's incredible. We hear a lot about how Gen Z workers especially tend to prioritize a company's culture, maybe more so than other generations. Its mission, its culture, it needs to be values aligned. Is that something that you've experienced with Gen Z?
Absolutely. They want to know they're working for something more. That it's more than just a paycheck for them. They want to have that feel-good feeling that they're doing something productive. And they want to wake up with, hey, I want to go to work today. And they want to be proud of where they work. They don't want it to be kind of a dingy, beat up, bad service, stereotypical, fast food experience. They want to be part of a winning team. And I think, WorkStream has really helped us kind of exemplify that with our kind of recruiting efforts and our HR efforts and the seamlessness of it. They kind of get that. They get a hint of that before they apply. And once they apply and join the system, they fully understand it.
Yeah. What strategies have you done differently with your recruiting and your retention efforts with this new focus for Gen Z?
I think at first, we were very quick to move. So when we added WorkStream, we were getting a ton of application flow. And so then the mission be, how fast can we get them in our system? Because everyone was hiring, right? And so someone applied for a job at 9 a.m. By 10 a.m., they could be potentially hired. And so then it's about resources can we add to our people to make it so we can, access more people. That's when I hired Heather, who is our director of people and culture. And so one of the first things she did was, as soon as she got on board, every single store that had a person apply, she would screen them. And if she felt like it was a good candidate at any level, she would set up the interview with the manager. And so we would get quick touches to people. So within minutes of them applying, they were getting some sort of communication feedback. Even if it's, hey, we got your application, we save it on file, we'll let you know something opens up to, or hey, can you come in tomorrow at noon for an interview? Yeah. And so I think that quickness really kind of impressed people.
That's great to hear. And tell me a little bit, why do it's clear you're so invested in the culture of your company. It's wonderful to hear, and you really have a mission for what you're trying to get out there. Tell me a little bit more about why you personally care so much. I mean, about the culture of the company. You spoke to it a little bit, but
it's everything. It's our strength. It's who we are, right? So people want to know, they're working for something more than just a paycheck. And our culture exemplifies that, right? They know that we care. They know there's opportunity here. They know that they can make a career with us. There's a living here. There's benefits here. They're just not a number. They're not employee 45 with code Z, right? They're just somebody, they're Crystal. They're Jeremy. They're people with us. And I think we've really done a good job of, exemplifying that throughout our 41 locations. I know all the managers. I know several, crew members, employees by names, birthdays. And they know me well personally as well too. So we've got this really tight knit bond that I think really kind of sets us apart.
That's fantastic. It's evident how proud you are and what an amazing culture you've built.
I very much am. Thank you.
So what's been the most successful thing you've done as a leader to positively impact the culture?
That's a great question. I would say, one of the things I'm the most proud of as a leader is really just developing the people, seeing people, come in as maybe a crew person or, a shift manager or assistant manager and moving up the ranks and them telling me their goals and me saying that's my goal too. If you want to grow, you want to develop, let me help you. And so I think that's one of the most proudest things I take pride on. Jeremy, like mentioned earlier, when I met him, he was a store manager. When I graduated college, I was his assistant manager. And there's so many stories like that where people, they wanted to grow, and we got caught wind of that, and we wanted to grow. So we said, hey, let's help each other. Let's grow this business. Let's grow this company, and let's figure it out together. And I think people are very, very keen to join me for that ride.
Yeah. What do you think it does to the culture when the people around you see that happening to their peers?
I mean, and I think it just becomes living proof, right? It's one thing for me to say it, because every owner, I'm sure, would say they want to have a positive culture. Everyone, it's easy to preach. It's hard to practice. Yeah. And so when you have, so many dozens and hundreds of stories of success stories of people coming in and growing and moving up the ranks, other people catch wind of it, right? Because then, you come into a store, you meet the store manager and say, hey, I was in your seat, a couple of years ago. I just walked in for a job because I needed some money to take care of my family. Now I'm a store manager. And so I think when people live that, it kind of realizes our culture is real.
That's great. And so how did the fact that you care about culture so much, did that influence your decision to partner with WorkStream?
Absolutely. When I first got on board to WorkStream, we had instant success with the application flow, so I saw the value there. But really, when I met Des and kind of had a good conversation with him, heard his story, heard his vision for his brand, there's so much aligned because we both care so deeply about people in general. We want to make things better for people, in any capacity. And the deskless workers is such a huge part of the American workforce, and to focus on them, to give them some opportunity to make them feel important is, huge.
That's great to hear. So you seems like you have a very positive applicant experience, onboarding experience. How does that lay the foundation for longer term employee engagement and retention?
It's the first step, right? So, before they apply to the job, we need to be impressive. So it needs to be a place where they say, hey, I want to work here. And WorkStream helps exactly that, right? So it's so seamless. The application takes minutes to do for the employee. It's on their cell phone. It's not repetitive. And then same thing for the manager. As soon as the application is sent, within minutes, the manager can reply on their phone via text message or phone call or email, set up an interview. The applicant has the ability to set up an interview so they know where they're going and how it's feeling from day one, versus alternatively, such a time and cumbersome process. And we've taken that away.
Yeah, I imagine in an environment where hiring is so competitive,
yes,
that first impression really.
The first impression is huge. And I think, WorkStream does that for us, right? Because it really is our first impression for some potential new hires.
Why is it so important that franchisees choose partners like WorkStream that are committed for the long term? You spoke a little bit about vision earlier. Why is that so important?
I think it's important because it's nice to have, you need to have partners that are aligned with your vision, and it helps you grow because it makes things so much easier when you have a relationship that's aligned. And so you guys are growing, we're growing. You understand our needs, I understand your needs. And so I think we can kind of work together on it. And I think that's key because when you work with certain companies who are too big, who are set in stone, there's no room to change their platform to tailor your needs, versus WorkStream's the exact opposite, right? So they're a big company, but they're going to tailor the program to me to make sure I'm getting applicants, it's easy for me to use, I'm getting the data I need. And that's what I really appreciate about them and love about WorkStream. I feel like it's something that I have control over, and if I need it to change or I need to move it in any way, I can have that ability. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's great. So as you know, WorkStream has recently added new products like survey and chat and payroll.
Yes.
What sort of value do you see in these additions? What do you think about them?
Huge. WorkStream is going to be a big part of our company's future, and we plan on, I know Heather and the team are working on, using some of those new products, and we currently have out third parties for that. Like, for the chatting, we're using GoHappy, and we'll eventually switch over to WorkStream. Same thing with payroll. We're using Paychecks. We would love to switch over to WorkStream. It just makes life so much easier when it's a one-stop shop for everything. And so I think, the vision for me long term is everything HR, and potentially things like, maybe POS, maybe, training platform, training videos can be all done through WorkStream. So I see a very bright future, and all that is just going to make us better as an entity, because it's just so many more resources we're going to have for our people to excel.
Yeah. You answered this a little bit, but if you think about the benefits of having that all-in-one HR hiring and payroll platform, you mentioned that it just makes it easier to have one tool, make a better customer experience. Any other values that you see in having all these HR capabilities?
I think also you'll see some unit scale too, because I think, when you're giving all your business in one place, typically things becomes cheaper, right? And so I think all around, so everything will come down. So I'll probably save money from that angle, as well as, the tech stack gets so much better too, because some of our third-party vendors, they're good, they're getting the job done, but they're not good enough. And I think WorkStream is evolving and getting better as time goes on.
So everything, you've kind of mentioned this, but everything that we do at WorkStream is with the goal of helping you and your team, like making you more efficient,
Absolutely.
Saving time, and ultimately we want to help you provide great customer service to your customers. So with that in mind, what feedback do you have for us? Like, how could we be helping you better? How can we be better partners to you? What advice would you have for us?
It's a tough question to answer. I feel very connected to the team. I know Heather and Paul and some of our guys are in constant communication on WorkStream on how to alter it, how to tweak it, how do we make it better for everybody. So I just keep doing what we're doing. I love the vision. I love where you guys are going, and it's a great partnership.
Yeah, and we're so humbled to partner with you. I mean, you really are making life better for so many of the workers at your stores, and that's our mission as well. And
Absolutely.
So we're honored to be a partner in helping you accomplish that.
Of course, likewise. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Of course, glad to do it.
Appreciate the time.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to On the Clock. For more info, visit workstream.us/podcast. Until next time, we're clocking out.